Chapter 7 Army's Reality. Oliver point of view. Even from the back of the line, Oliver could still watch the challengers. Alan was up next. He strode toward the entrance with casual confidence, perhaps bolstered by watching others navigate the challenge before him. As the doors sealed shut behind Alan, the holographic display above the arena flickered to life, projecting his progress for all to see. The initial level seemed manageable. He moved with deliberate ease, dodging the first volleys of projectiles. But like many before him, Alan met his match at the third level. The projectiles increased in speed and unpredictability, and a well-aimed shot clipped his shoulder, signaling his elimination. Agility isn't your strong suit, then, Oliver thought. Moments later, Alan emerged from the chamber, rubbing his shoulder with a wry grimace. Ouch! That hurt, he muttered, rejoining the line next to Oliver. Shortly after, it was Isabela's turn. Oliver noticed her hands trembling slightly as she approached the entrance, a stark contrast to her usual exuberance. The doors slid open with a pneumatic hiss, swallowing her into the chamber. She navigated the first two levels with precision, her eyes focused, movements calculated. But at the third level, fate took a cruel turn. Her foot landed on a stray projectile, its rounded surface causing her to slip. In that split second of imbalance, a projectile struck her squarely, ending her run. She exited the arena flushed, her cheeks fiery red. Her hands clenched into fists, knuckles white. Oliver sensed the simmering frustration radiating from her, a volatile mix of anger and disappointment. Breathe. Breathe. Breathe, Isabela whispered to herself, each word a mantra as she struggled to regain composure. Nice work to those who survived the first test. But you won't have much time to rest. We'll move on to the second stage right away, the officer said, guiding the students out of the testing hall. He led the group into the open air. Surrounding them was a swath of open ground, a buffer before the dense forest of towering, bioengineered trees began. Within this clearing, an oval track was etched into the ground, its path marked by luminescent strips that pulsed gently. Before the recruits could ponder the next challenge, the officer began his briefing. Your second test will commence in 3 minutes and will assess your endurance. All of you must run on this track around the building for the next hour. Points will be awarded for each completed lap. Simple, right? He paused, a subtle smile hinting at the twist to come. Not quite. There will be some surprises. The first is the artificial gravity generator embedded beneath this track. With each step you take, the gravitational force will increase by 0.01%. Oliver judged, 0.01%? So little. Countdown initiated, 180 seconds remaining. Everyone line up on this line. When the countdown ends, start running, the officer explained. 3, 2, 1, second test initiated. As soon as the starting signal reverberated across the training grounds, a thunderous stampede ensued. Hundreds of recruits surged forward, their synchronized footsteps echoing like a heartbeat. Some exploded off the line, eager for an early advantage. Most clustered together, conserving energy and observing the competition. The initial strides felt ordinary. Oliver scarcely noticed the subtle shift in weight. But as they neared the completion of the first lap, an uncanny sensation crept in. The feather-light burden gradually transformed. Each step amplified the gravitational pull slightly. Around him, some recruits began to labor, their breaths heavier, faces flushed. Oliver maintained a steady pace, calm amidst the escalating strain. His prior labor hauling ore carcasses had fortified his body, granting resilience that now served him well. Glancing sideways, he caught sight of Isabela. A confident smile played on her lips, a stark contrast to her earlier anxiety. She seemed to thrive under this challenge. The second phase will start in 60 seconds. Any candidate one lap behind will be eliminated. 3 candidates will be eliminated in 60 seconds. Oliver thought, they're pushing us to quicken our pace. This is only going to get tougher. He conserved his breath, focusing on the task ahead. At the rear, 2 girls and a boy struggled to keep up. Red crosses flickered ominously above their heads. Their faces were flushed, sweat pouring down as they fought for every step. Desperation edged their movements. Falling behind now meant immediate elimination. A sudden commotion snapped Oliver's attention forward. A sharp yelp cut through the rhythmic pounding of feet. Up ahead, a muscular boy lashed out, delivering a brutal kick to another recruit's knee. The victim crumpled, clutching his leg. Shouts erupted, but there was no time to intervene. The mass of runners swept past him like a river. Oliver had seconds to decide, give up or push through the pain. 3, 2, 1, 4 candidates eliminated. As the countdown concluded, figures clad in white appeared beside the fallen recruits. Medics or enforcers, Oliver wasn't sure. They moved with swift precision, whisking the eliminated away before vanishing. A ripple of unease spread through the pack. Eyes darted to the officer, expecting reprimand. But he remained impassive. So that's how competition works here, Oliver mused bitterly. The memory of the first test surfaced, the strict prohibition against harming others. But here, silence implied consent. The academy was testing more than physical limits, probing willingness to do whatever it took to survive. The collective unity shattered. Recruits began to distance themselves. Small groups coalesced, alliances formed out of necessity. Oliver scanned the thinning crowd for familiar faces. Alan was nearby, matching his stride. But Isabela had surged ahead, perhaps seeking to avoid a brewing conflict. Stick close, Oliver suggested to Alan. Alan nodded, understanding. They hadn't gone far when rapid footsteps approached from behind. Oliver turned, but it was too late. A fist connected sharply with his side, sending him sprawling. Pain radiated through his ribs as he fought to draw breath. Stay down, Nameless, a cold voice sneered above him. It'll be better for you. A spatter of spit landed near his face. She rejoined her group, disappearing into the crowd. Anger and humiliation warred within him, but there was no time to dwell. Alan reached him, urgency in his gaze. Come on, we have to keep running. Gritting his teeth against the pain, Oliver accepted Alan's hand, pulling himself up. The third phase will start in 300 seconds. Any candidate more than 600 meters behind the first place will be eliminated. 9 candidates will be eliminated in 300 seconds. As they resumed running, Oliver could feel the atmosphere shift. The track had become a battlefield, every runner for themselves or their chosen few. He and Alan kept to the middle, avoiding attention while maintaining speed. A sudden shout drew their eyes forward. What was that? Oliver exclaimed. Up ahead, a recruit slammed his fist into the ground. Jagged spikes of stone erupted from the track, forming a hazardous barrier. Runners veered wildly to avoid it, chaos spreading through the ranks. Before they could adjust, a figure blurred past them, a girl with fierce determination etched on her face. Instead of dodging, she charged directly at the stone spikes. With a burst of raw power, she smashed through the barrier. Shards of rock exploded around her. Oliver's mind reeled. What kind of abilities are these? Are these from Z crystals? The increasing gravity bore down relentlessly. Each step demanded more effort. Oliver's lungs burned, but he pushed forward. He cast a sidelong glance at Alan, who, despite the strain, seemed to handle the pressure with surprising endurance. I didn't expect him to be so resilient, Oliver thought. A flicker of admiration stirred. But there was no time for distraction. The pack was thinning, the leaders pulling further ahead. Minutes stretched into an agonizing eternity. Sweat blurred his vision, every breath a labor. But surrender was not an option. The memory of the girl's disdain, the ruthless competition, it all fueled his resolve. Keep going, he urged himself. One step at a time. 5 candidates eliminated. Only 11 candidates remained of the 20. Oliver could see Isabela and the blonde-haired girl far ahead, almost a whole lap in front. Second test completed. Many recruits collapsed to catch their breath. Rest while you can. You still have 2 more challenges today. But before we move on, each of you will receive your grades, the officer warned. Evaluating. A new hologram appeared in front of each recruit, displaying evaluations. Evaluated status, endurance grade, pawn. Oliver was satisfied. He felt he might have scored higher, but with the risk of being attacked, this was realistically his best outcome. Nearby, Isabela practically radiated joy. She bounced on her toes, eyes gleaming as she admired her knight grade. Beside her stood the enigmatic blonde-haired girl with piercing gray eyes, equally pleased with the same evaluation. "Let's move on to the third challenge," the officer announced. "It will be in another building this time. Follow me." As the group began to move, Oliver took a deep breath, trying to quell the anger simmering within him. His head still throbbed. His ears rang slightly from the punch he'd received. The injustice gnawed at him. Ever since his reawakening, he'd grappled with a prejudice against the nameless. But he'd never expected to face such blatant hostility twice in one day. Chapter complete. Like, comment and subscribe for more.